Well, it's week two. Done with week one. Now we're on week two. So I noticed I did have a few people that did watch my first video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think there was a total number of two, but that's how you build them up, I guess. And ideally, I'd like to monetize my vlog one day, if I live that long. But those things being said, I'm back, and I hope I entertained you. I hope I made you laugh, like I just laughed. Uh, to me, it's kind of silly, this vlog, but I think it's going to be a good part of my recovery. So, and I hope that it helps somebody else's recovery. Uh, those of you that don't know me, I'm a paraplegic, and I'm gonna probably repeat it a million times in the vlog, and just get that point out there, because a lot of this is about my pain and trying to find my path through the pain. And there's more than one pain I have to put up with. Trust me. I love my wife, but sometimes she can be very mad at me for silly reasons, and I have to basically grin and bear it. But you know, it's not easy having a husband that's a paraplegic that can't move. When I met her, I was able to walk, and now she has to deal with a man that's 270 pounds. That's about what I weigh now. And, grown man poop. I can't wipe myself. I don't know where I'm going to go. I have a catheter. And, I really don't have much feeling below my legs. So I did tell her I was going to do my vlog, and here she comes. She's coming in to visit me, and I don't know how to. Oh, she's coming to plug her phone in, but I don't know how to pause it and meld the video together. I'm just going to keep going. I have some of my pets visiting me now. This is trying to put Maggie May on my vlog. This is Maggie May. Got her from my beautiful, loving wife. She said she always wanted her old English sheepdogs, and those of you who really know me know I love animals, and I love big dogs. And this dog has been a challenge. She really has. As you can see, she's about 30, 40 pounds, maybe a little bit more, off Maggie. And she likes to stomp on me. She likes to beat me with her paws. She likes to get my attention. But, those of you who love animals, we have 5 rescue animals. And Maggie I bought because I love my wife. And, I love animals. So we have Blizzard, who might make his way onto the vlog one day. And I have Anna, who's in her last days with us. Well, not days, but I'd like to see her last a long time. But she's getting to be an old lady. And, when we first got Maggie, she loved it. But now she's not too happy to have a rambunctious 3-year-old dog. But in dog year, that's 21, so she's supposed to be an adult. But she is still a baby. She still does baby things. She's very playful. She just wants love and attention. Maggie does. And all my dogs want love and attention. All my cats. We have 3 cats. So Anna's an old English sheepdog. Maggie's the old English sheepdog. Anna is a Border Collie mix. And Blizzard is a Husky mix. And then we have 3 cats. We adopted 2 cats when we came down here, after we lost our cat Miara, and we kind of got a new Miara She looks almost like Meower does. Her name is Katniss, but I call her Cat Mess, and other people call her Fatness. Her Fatness, because she's a very fat cat, very happy cat. And then we have Primrose. Primrose, another cat adopted from the Orlando adoption shelter, and when you adopt a cat down here, it costs you about $240 to adopt a cat or a kitten. And we wanted kittens. I wanted kittens anyway. Who doesn't want a kitten? I mean, so we adopted two kittens. They're supposed to be sisters, so they act like sisters, and they've been together since they were little babies. So to me, they are sisters. And then they adopted a sister. Her name is Oreo, and Oreo was Matt's cat. So if Matt, you ever watching the vlog or going back to see some of my vlogs, well, I talked about your cat, and talked about you. So Matthew was a foster child, and later in our being a foster parent with Matt, we eventually became his legal guardians until he turned 18. And then we gave Matt an option to move back with his Nana, who wanted to take care of Matt. But I don't think that worked out very well. And from what Matt tells me, he's living with his cousin somewhere in Gardner, and he's doing pretty good. And that makes me happy to hear any of my kids, any of my foster children that watch my vlog and that I've taken care of, that they're doing well. And, I'm sure Brandon's doing well. He was another foster child that I had. We had a lot of foster children. A lot of kids came in and out of our door. And they were welcome, and a lot of times we didn't make a lot of money doing foster care. 99% of the money that we did went back to those kids. And I'll tell you, it's true. We made sure those kids had really nice clothes. We made sure, and we made them frugal. We tried to make them as frugal as possible. We had a foster child. His name was, let's see, try to remember his name. Oh, he was Tajon's big buddy, his friend, and Lori will help me remember his name, but he had so much money to go shopping with one day, and I took him to the mall, and I said, well, you have all this money to go shopping with. Get yourself some shirts, get yourself some pants, and get yourself a pair of shoes. Well, he wanted the $100 pair of shoes. And unfortunately, he had more of a $29.99 pair of shoes from Walmart budget. I'm sorry. I mean, you pay $30 for a pair of shoes, and hopefully they last you, because you're not buying something that's really cheap, but you're going middle of the road, and you don't beat up your shoes. You don't, run in shoes that aren't meant for running. You don't play basketball shoes in shoes that aren't meant to play basketball. If you want a pair of basketball shoes, we buy a pair of basketball shoes. And hopefully your other pairs of shoes are going to last you, that you have at home. And still, I don't have to pay $60 or $80 for a halfway decent pair of basketball shoes. Maybe $49. I don't know what we're going to have to pay for a pair of basketball shoes so you can play basketball, but all I'm saying is shoes have a purpose, and they protect our feet. And anything more is gravy, but it depends on what you're going to do. I was a meat cutter for years, and I wore all different kinds of shoes. And, the best thing I ever wore when I was a meat cutter was big plastic boots that I kept it where I cut meat. Because, I would keep the boots at work, wear sneakers into work, put on my boots, kind of like Mr. Rogers, put on my boots and go to work. And, it helped me because I didn't ruin all my shoes. But, some people didn't like the fact that I hid my boots in the cooler. And, you know, they'd yell at me or whatever. They'd say whatever they said. You know what? And I had a guy play tricks on me before. It's not nice, but hey, if you want your feet to be comfortable, you wear what's comfortable. If you're playing basketball, you wear a basketball shoe. If you wrestle, you wear a wrestling shoe. And wrestling shoes are expensive, but you need to know what you're gonna do. You're not gonna do all kinds of sports. You pick your sport and you do it. And all of our children had opportunities to play sports, to just be a kid. And that's the most important part of being a child, is having the ability to be a child and to learn the things a child should learn. How to cook, how to take care of their own space, basically simple things that people never taught their children. They were more interested in drugs or whatever they were more interested in than their children. When their children came to me, their families definitely had an issue with the Department of Children and Families. And, it's important for us to keep siblings together. Brothers and sisters should be kept together when all possible. And at the end, when we were moving from Gardner to Florida, and we had an opportunity to adopt Fabian, who was a much more challenging child, we told the Department of Families and Children that the only way we would adopt Fabian is if we could adopt all three. Fabian had two siblings that were in foster care. And I wanted him, I wanted his brother, and I wanted his sister. And that would be the only way that I would adopt one sibling. I would not adopt a single sibling out of that sibling group to break up that sibling group. It's not right. Those children should always have the ability to see each other, to be part of each other's families, and should never be separated. It's the Department of Family and Children and Families' main priority, in my opinion, to whenever possible keep sibling groups together. Sibling groups will protect each other. Sibling groups will, say something if something is wrong. In a group, you're more likely to have a sibling step up and say something to an authority figure if the other siblings are being abused in any way in a foster situation. It does happen. And it's sad because people will take children into their home for money. People will take children into their home because they want to sexually abuse them. You're vetted by the Department of Children and Families. That doesn't mean that, there's not something that's wrong with your family. Everybody's got a little something wrong with them. But, there's limits. There's limits to what should be wrong with you. And, me, when I was younger, I was a kind of a wild kid. I got arrested once. I was playing with a girl in the park, and we were kind of wrestling, and they thought that was disorderly conduct. I thought that was wrestling with a girl in the park. It was what it was. I got arrested. And when I was younger, I smoked marijuana. I drank. I liked to hang out with girls. I mean, I'm a guy. I'm gonna try and uh, be with a woman. I mean, that's how I was. So I can't deny it, and I think it's normal. And a lot of people think it's normal behavior. But the cop at the time didn't think it was normal behavior. But if I have a record, guess what? Eventually, 20, 30 years later, if I'm going to want to do foster care, they're going to look that up. They're going to say, hey, what happened back here? You got arrested in Lowell, disorderly conduct, 2086, or whatever the hell year it was. Well, this is what happened. I was goofing around. I probably shouldn't have been goofing around. I was a kid. I'm still considered a kid at 22 years old. I mean, I'm doing crazy stuff. Just different adult crazy stuff. That's all it is. And I'm out trying to enjoy my life in a park. And some cop comes by, sees me wrestling with a girl, thinks I'm attacking her. Well, she was the one that was wrestling me. She wanted me to wrestle. I was a good wrestler in high school, and she wanted me to wrestle her. And she was doing her best to wrestle me, and I was doing my best to not hurt her. And I picked her up and made sure that she didn't get hurt. I put her down. But that's what got the cops' interest. I put her down nice and slow. I didn't slam her on the ground. I didn't hurt her. I was a bull back then. I was a strong guy. But, I mean, this vlog has gone by, and it's more about telling you about me and not basically what happened this week. So I'm going to recap a little bit of this week, and I'm going to end up. So this week I ran out of marijuana vape. I'm at the end of the month, so I need to know how I'm going to stretch that medication out. I did very well. I wasn't hurting that much. For these last 3 or 4 days, I've been hurting a lot, and I haven't been able to medicate with that. And I swear the oxycodone doesn't do any good. When I take an oxycodone, right now, my wife said I took an oxycodone less than 4 hours ago, right? And right now I'm in pain, and it's a significant amount of pain, and that's sad. I mean, you hear a lot about these oxycodones and how good they are or strong they are. No. They say they make you constipated. I could probably think they do. I get constipated a lot. It'll be 4 or 5 days before I go to the bathroom. I was lucky to have a movement today, and my wife has given me the leniency of being able to choose when I take my milk of magnesia. And I took some yesterday. I had a movement today. I'm going to take a break tonight and not take that crappy milk of magnesia. About the makers of milk of magnesia can make it taste better. All right? Bad enough, you got to take it. All right? Make it taste better. Oh my God. Milk of magnesia. It doesn't matter what I take. Yuck. It's all yucky. It's all yucky. I try to disguise the taste of it, but it just means I have to drink more. Ugh. So that being said, I'm gonna close out the day. I've been learning a lot more about vaping, and I might go to dry vaping. Dry vaping might be the key to making my vape last longer. And that, if I do anything about that, I'm going to do that at the beginning of the month. It's going to cost me, I think it's $80, somewhere between $40 and $80 for a dry vape. And I'm going to try and get a small pen, if I can, to start. and hopefully that's a little less expensive. But if I can't find a small dry vape, I'm gonna go to a larger dry vape, and probably about $80. But in the long run, all I have to do is buy flour, and I call them buds. That's a term from when I was a kid, buds. And you break up the buds, and sometimes there's seeds in it, and sometimes there's no seeds in it. But you break up the buds, and then you grind it, and I could break up a bud to put right into a joint. That's what we call them. Now they call them pre-rolls, and it's just a different way of talking about it. It's just marijuana. And I didn't do it for about, 40 years. And now I'm a paraplegic, and I'm going to live by this stuff, I swear. And I'm going to try and crush it, and I'm going to try every way to get it into my body besides smoking. Smoking is the worst. Vaping is second worst. But I want to get that pain-free feeling that I can get using medical marijuana. So, getting tired, you guys. It's getting late, as you could probably see. I will catch up with you guys next week. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed day. Bye. Keep your sticks on the ice.